Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. I'm your host Dr. Nick and welcome back to the 90s Guys Show. Today's video I wanted to talk about Nintendo and Nintendo's biggest money maker besides Zelda, the Mario games. Now my question is, if it wasn't for the Mario games, would Nintendo, especially their first system, the Famicom and then the NES in North America, would it have been as successful? Would these flagship games, without them, would the systems been so successful? Now, here's some of the games that I have. We have Super Mario World on Super Nintendo. Very good game. Definitely was one of my favorites and still is. We have the original Mario. This one happens to have World Class Track Meet and Duck Hunt on it. Super Mario 2, which was, of course, Doki Doki something. I can't remember exactly what it was called, but this was not supposed to be a true Mario game. And then, of course, everybody's favorite, Super Mario 3. Here's two games. This one everyone's pretty much heard of, the Dr. Mario. And this one, which I didn't know until probably recently, the NES Open Tournament Golf with Mario. Now, Mario games have always been a staple of all the Nintendo systems. You've had the original three, you had Super Mario World, Super Mario World 2, you had Yoshi's Island, then of course you had Mario 64, the newest one, Super Mario Odyssey, Super Mario 64, the Mario Party games, the Mario Kart. Mario and Luigi and the Nintendo universe has always been the focus of Nintendo, and of course, they've always been sort of the big hitters besides like Zelda, Metroid, Contra. But what were some of the games that also added to the systems, at least in my opinion, definitely not only made it better, but it added to the enjoyment of the systems. You had games like Castlevania, the Mega Man series, Street Fighter, anything by Capcom. Sunset Riders was always a big one with me. The Donkey Kong Country series on the Super Nintendo. Super Mario Galaxy was a fun game. Luigi's Mansion was a lot of fun on the GameCube. I did not own a GameCube. I always played it on a friend's system. I did not own a Nintendo 64 until relatively recently. I've played Mario Kart 64. It's an awesome game. The original Mario Kart. The entire Mario Kart series on the Wii and the Wii U have always been a huge hit with kids and adults. So, what would have happened if they had not had a mascot, sort of like Sega had Sonic? Now, granted, other games came out for the Genesis that also made it very popular too. You had the Streets of Rage series, you had a lot of shooters, you had the Mortal Kombat series. There was a lot of games for all the systems, but with the new system, the Switch, you also have other games by third parties that have made it very popular as well. You have Splatoon 2, you have the Zelda Breath of the Wild, you have Doom. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. You also have a lot of the third party games that I don't really have a list in front of me, but this is definitely going to be a system that is not going to be just populated by Mario games. I'm sure there will be some other Mario games, other related. Like the Wii U had Yoshi's Woolly World, the Mario Maker, where you could make the different levels, things like that. But I will always remember when we got our NES and I popped in Mario Brothers 1, and I was amazed on how fun it was and the different levels and the music and then we went on to Mario 2 and 3, and then I remember getting the Super Nintendo, Super Mario World. I remember reading the spread in Nintendo Power and seeing the pictures, and I just couldn't wait to get the game. And we finally got the system, we got the game. We used to play a lot of Nintendo at my uncle's house. Unfortunately, he passed away many years ago. I think he was probably the one that introduced us to video games, my brother and I. Very good man, a lot of fun. He had the Super Nintendo, the Nintendo. He loved Zelda. He had both of the gold carts. He also had, I don't think he never ventured into the 64, but he had tons of regular Nintendo games: RCA Pro Am, Gauntlet, Castlevania, the Mega Man games, and I mean it was just fantastic. Nintendo has always been a huge part of my gaming life, along with Genesis, but Nintendo has always been sort of the number one. When 64 came around, I had already switched to PlayStation, but I will always enjoy playing a Mario game, whether it be on a console, on the DS. Those games are a lot of fun. But I mean, ask yourself, what would Nintendo be like if they didn't have Mario as being their flagship character back then? Would the system have taken off as good as it did? Would they have found another mascot for the company? I mean, there's a lot of questions that, you could really think about. But anyways, like this video, hit the subscribe button down below, hit the little bell icon to make sure you get all notifications for all my videos, and I will see you all later.